Factsverse presents Winter Hacks You Wish You'd Known Sooner. In many parts of the U.S., the winters get very cold. Between the freezing temperatures, the strong winds, the snow and the ice, the shorter days, well, people start counting down the days to spring as early as November. If you want to make November through May a bit easier to get through, there are a few winter hacks that you probably wish you had known sooner, but maybe you can still take advantage of them. Run your ceiling fans in reverse. Ceiling fans are great for keeping it cool in the house during the summer, but they can also be helpful during the winter. If you run the fan in reverse, it'll circulate the warm air back down to the floor level. It'll keep the house warmer without needing to turn up the thermostat. Park facing east. If there's snow in the forecast, try to park your car facing east. Your vehicle will then be facing the sun when it rises, and that'll help to melt the ice. It'll save you a little time in the morning when it comes to scraping snow and ice off of your windshield. Shave the pills from your wool coat. If you have a wool coat that you love but it's covered with pills, don't throw the coat away. You could run a razor over the jacket and your coat will look brand new. Use a hot water bottle. Winter nights can get cold and many people will use electric blankets. If you don't want to waste electricity, though, you can use a hot water bottle. If you put it under the covers before you go to sleep, it'll keep you warm all night long. Enjoy the sunshine. This winter hack is a great way to boost your mood. Most people don't spend too much time outside during the winter because it's so cold. Well, if you want to boost your mood a bit, go outside and stand in the direct sunlight for 5 minutes. You'll be surprised by how much better you might feel. Put sandwich bags over your feet. There is nothing worse than having wet feet on a cold winter day. Even if you have waterproof boots, moisture can sometimes still leak in. Well, if you want to keep your feet dry, put sandwich bags over your feet before you put your feet into those boots and socks. It'll prevent the moisture from reaching them. Cover your windshield wipers with old socks. Speaking of socks, if you have some old ones, don't throw them away. If the weather's going to be wet and frigid, you can use those old socks to cover your windshield wipers. It'll keep them from getting damaged from the snow and ice. You might want to save a little extra time, though, because of course you'll need to pull them off. Add some cotton insulation to your boots. It's not uncommon for your feet to get really cold during the winter. If you want to try and keep your feet a bit warmer, add an extra layer of wool in your boots. Just remove the insole from the boot and put a piece of wool the same shape and size inside. It'll also work if you want to keep your feet warm in the house while you're wearing your slippers. Cover your side mirrors with sandwich bags. If you want to protect your side mirrors from the snow and ice before a storm, cover them with sandwich bags. The plastic will prevent them from being damaged, and it's one less area you have to scrape the snow and ice from the next morning. Use cooking spray on your snow shovel. Shoveling snow is no fun at all, and it gets a lot more difficult when the snow starts sticking to your shovel. If you have to pound the snow off each time you scoop up the snow, it's going to make the job take a lot longer, too. To keep the snow from clinging to your shovel, spray it with cooking spray before you start shoveling. Make your own De-Icer. If your walkway or driveway is covered with snow and ice, you don't have to waste money on De-Icer or salt. You can easily make your own with items that you have right there in your own house. All you need to do is mix a half gallon of hot water, a teaspoon of Dawn dish soap, and a tablespoon of rubbing alcohol. This will quickly melt the ice. Use newspaper to dry your boots. When you come inside after being out in the snow, you're going to want to dry those boots off before coming in. The best way to do this is with old newspaper. Put a few sheets on the floor, put your boots on them. If the inside of your boots are wet, roll up some newspapers in a ball and stuff them in the boot. It'll absorb the moisture, drying your boots faster. Sprinkle kitty litter around your tires. If you've ever gotten stuck in the snow, you know how annoying it can be to try and get out. If you have a cat, well, you're already set. Sprinkle some kitty litter around your tires. It'll provide the traction you need to get out. And best of all, the kitty litter's not going to melt the snow the way De-Icer does, which will mean that you can dig in even deeper. If you want to keep your hands warm this winter, try homemade hand warmers. You don't have to spend money on store-bought ones. All you need is a large sandwich bag, a small sandwich bag, calcium chloride, and water. Start by pouring the sodium chloride into the larger bag and pour water into the smaller one. Next, put the smaller bag in the larger one. When you break the smaller bag into the larger one, it'll create a chemical reaction and it'll heat up. Just make sure it doesn't come into direct contact with your skin. Blow bubbles outside. This hack really isn't designed to make winter easier, it's actually for just having more fun during the winter. Go outside and blow bubbles with dish soap like you would in the summertime. If the temperature is freezing or close to it, the bubbles will freeze in a few minutes or even a few seconds. They look really pretty when they're frozen. If your kids have bubbles left over from the summer, they work just as good. Scrape the ice using a credit card. There is nothing worse than when there is a deep freeze and you don't have an ice scraper. A great way to scrape the ice is to use your credit card. When you're able to get the windshield clear, you can use that same credit card to go out and buy a real ice scraper. Hey, at least now you'll know how to scrape the ice from your windshield in a pinch. Defrost your car door locks. It's awful when you try and get into your car first thing in the morning after a storm and those doors are frozen. The best way to get the lock thawed out so that you can be on your way is to squirt the lock with hand sanitizer. After a few seconds, you should be able to fit your key in enough that you can break the ice. Cook in the oven more often. During the winter, to help keep your house warm, find recipes that require using your oven. When the oven's on, it heats up your home a bit. When your food's ready and the food comes out of the oven, leave your oven door open to allow it to cool down. The warm air will come out, helping to heat your home even more. Keep your boots shape. It can be difficult to prevent your high winter boots from losing their shape. The best way to do this is to cut up a pool noodle and use that to keep your boots shape. It'll keep them looking great when you're not wearing them. Put zip ties on your bike tires. If you rely on your bike to get from one place to another, it can be a hassle when there is snow on the ground. Since they don't make snow chains for bicycles, well, why not make your own? You can put zip ties all around your tires and it'll give you the traction you need to get through the snow. Block the draft under the door. It's not uncommon for drafts to come in from under the door during the winter. To keep that from happening, slide a pool noodle underneath the door. You should cut it the width of the door so that the pool noodle will hug the bottom of the door. If you want it to be a bit more stylish, you can always dress it up with pants or a shirt. Keep the garage floor clean with a tarp. When you pull into your garage, the dirt, snow, and ice on your car can melt off, making the floor dirty, messy. Ugh. Well, to keep that from happening, all you need is some duct tape, a big tarp, and 4 pool noodles. Tape the pool noodles around the edges of the tarp and place it on the garage floor. When you pull your car into the garage, the floor will stay clean. Close the doors. On a very cold day, you want to keep the occupied rooms as warm as possible, and the best way to do that is to close the doors to the rooms that you're not using. It's easier to heat up a smaller space than a larger one. It'll also save you money on your heating bill. Tin foil in the fireplace. Fireplaces are really nice during the winter, but they can also be a hassle to clean. To make cleaning easier, line your fireplace with tin foil before you use it for the first time. When the fire goes out and the fireplace cools down, all you need to do is just fold up the aluminum foil and your fireplace is clean. Put down a new section of tin foil for the next burning. Do you have any other winter hacks we should know about? Tell us in the comments and subscribe for more.